Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic sparkling start to Serenity Sunday. Yes, it is that day of the week where we kick back, we relax, we just go. I tell you, I can't wait to go. Mind you, I already started off the day. So I turned my alarm clock off last night like I normally do on a Saturday night because I didn't want to get woken at 5:07 if I decided to sleep in. I'm usually awake before then. Um, and I slept till 5:43. That was my sleep. Woke up, went to the bathroom, got back into bed, and I was like wide awake. I'm like, I am not going back to sleep anytime soon. It doesn't feel like it. So I decided. So I looked at the clock. It was 5:43, and I'm like, okay, I slept in for at least 43 minutes, maybe more, depending. Sometimes I wake up at just before 5 o'clock. Sometimes just after. Very rarely when the alarm goes off. So it's sort of like, okay. Guess I'll read for a bit. So I laid in bed and read for a bit, and then got up and got breakfast. And normally I have cereal for breakfast, and I thought, oh, excuse me. I thought, I feel like something different. So I broke my microwave rule, and I had some corn chips, and I thought, what can I put on the corn chips? So I had some cheese and some spinach, some broccoli saw, and some bacon bits, and so that was my breakfast nachos. Um, put the corn chips on a plate, put some cheese on there, threw some spinach on top, some broccoli saw, some bacon bits, and these are real bacon bits, not the manufactured ones, and then sprinkle it with a little more cheese, stuck it in the microwave for a couple of minutes, and breakfast nachos. And as soon as it came out of the microwave, I put it on the table here on a placemat, and before I'd sat down, Zeffie was out of the bedroom, nose up in the air, sniffing around, and so I sat down. Boom, she was right next to me, like, okay, and she just sat there very quietly. She doesn't whine; she just sits there with her presence, and then she just slowly just starts to lean against you. She just like rolls onto her hip, like and like if you look at her, she sort of gives you that look like I'm just getting comfortable. But yeah, it was fun. So she got a little bit of corn chips, a little bit of melted cheese. She had a little bit of spinach in there as well. I don't think she realised that. But it was just a nice quiet morning breakfast, and showered and dressed, and off we went for our walk, and we got back a few minutes ago. So and my phone started buzzing before 7 o'clock this morning with text messages. I thought, who the heck is text messaging me on a Sunday? I haven't even looked to see. I'm like, this is my day off. I am not picking up the phone to send messages unless it's to my mum and dad, because we just text each other every day anyway. And if I miss a day, she would be worried. So they're the only people that I really text on a Sunday, unless it's a friend with a request or something like that. But usually most people know that I don't pick up my phone on Sunday. So I unplug. I unplug. But I will be on 3 times today. So we've got this. Then at 12:15 today, we're going to be doing genealogy and history for May 2nd. There's some good stuff in there. And then I'll be on again this evening around 5 o'clock for our part 2 of day 641. Wow, 641. That's a lot. So we're coming up on the 2-year mark with this. So July 31st will be 2 years. Will be the 2-year mark. So there'll be 2 full years. So that's going to be kind of exciting. And then I'd only have a year to go to make the 3 years. So we're going for 3 years in total, 1,096 days. And I have more Facebook Lives on my YouTube channel than I have the number of days I'm doing these. So crazy. But what is my plans for today? Well, I am going to do my grocery shopping this morning. So as soon as we finish this live, I will be online placing my grocery order in, which will be here in 2 hours, in less than 2 hours. So I'll have it by 11 o'clock this morning. Get it all put away, and then the rest of the day is to do whatever I want. I don't feel like doing. My body feels a little run down lately because I've been on the go so much with between work and of course last weekend I didn't really get much of a weekend break, and so I'm just going to take the day to chill. So once the groceries have arrived, that's it. I am. Well, let's see. I'll have an hour and a quarter after the groceries arrive. Put them away. Then I'll probably about half an hour before I have to do genealogy and history. And yeah, and in the afternoon it's just going to be kick back and relax. I may watch a movie. I may not watch a movie. I don't know. I may read. I may go take a nap. I don't know. I just feel like I need to do basically next to nothing because my body needs to recharge right now. So I'm going to take the time to do that. I was feeling a little tickle in the throat this morning when I woke up, which is why I sound a little hoarse. So we are dosing up on the vitamin C. We're going to have go make some green tea with lemon and honey in it to help soothe the throat down. And I know it is allergy related. I know it's allergy related. I did look at the phone this morning at the weather report, and I looked at the air quality, and the air quality in this area is not the greatest right now. And there's a few of my allergies that are in the extreme area, like pollen, mold. Yeah, so allergies highly affected. So today we're just going to be taking a lot of self-care because it's going to be an awesome week coming up. It is going to be incredible. It's going to be amazing. Excuse me. And there'll be lots and lots and lots and lots of fluids drunk today. But I do have to, coconut water, that's what I have to, hang on, that's my list. Coconut water. Didn't have that on my list, but I need that on my list. That's the electrolytes. So natural way to get electrolytes, drink some coconut water. And make sure it's the real coconut water and not the one where they put about this much of coconut water, the rest real water and whatever else they put in it. It's got to be the real stuff. But anyway, so what are you guys doing today to kick back, relax, enjoy your day? Are you going out for a bike ride? Are you going picnicking? Are you going for a country drive? I used to like doing that, Sunday drives. I haven't done one of those in a long time. I used to like Sunday drives. When we were growing up as kids, we'd just get in the car and we'll go for drives and things. And you go explore new places and that sort of thing. When I get in my car, I might reinstitute Sunday drives. Just go for a drive around local areas, exploring things, finding those cute little antique stores or the junk stores with the antiques written on it. But you know, they're kind of fun to browse through. You don't go with the intention of buying anything, you just go to browse. They're kind of fun, and you never know what you're going to find in an antique store. We found this really cool, what was it? I still have them, I think I still have them. Pretty sure we still have them. They're decanters. And Brad found a couple of really cool ceramic whiskey, I think they're whiskey decanters. When we were out doing a Sunday drive one day, we happened to come across this little town we'd never been in before. They had an antique store, so we stopped and had a look. And he found these really cool ceramic whiskey decanters. I can't for the life, I can see the New Zealand one there, the one with the kiwi on it, because we bought that one when we were in New Zealand. That was after he bought the other two. And so we picked them up and took them home. And then the next time we were down in New Zealand, we were going in Devonport and going through an antique store there, and they had one of a kiwi bird. So grabbed that one, and it was pretty good. It was, yeah. Those are still in boxes. Yes, they would still be in the boxes. Yeah, I know which box they're in too. You see the label. So, you know, you never know what you're going to find or what things may pique your interest. And so after that, we were on the lookout for these ceramic whiskey bottles, and I'm pretty sure it was whiskey, scotch, bourbon. Might have been bourbon. One of those ones. One of the hard liquors, like the whiskey, scotch, bourbon, something like that. Maybe all three. I don't know. I don't drink, so I'm not fully up on this. I just really like the bottles. And so we thought, so every time we'd go for a Sunday drive, if we found a little antique store, we'd stop, we'd go in there and have a look. And those of you who don't know what antique is, antiques. Some people call it antiques, some people call it antiques, some people call it other people's junk for sale. So whatever you want to call it. I like antiques. Yeah. Antiques, antiques, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's amazing some of the stuff that you will find in those stores. And you'll even find stuff that'll bring back memories from your childhood and stuff. Even here in the States, we were going through one store and they had a partial dinner set there. And I looked at it and I went, that's my parents' dinner set. Brett goes, what do you mean? I said, I remember my parents having this dinner set with this pattern on it when I was growing up. And I said, I thought it was something that was like unique to maybe New Zealand or something, but nope, there it was. So maybe it had made its way to America in some form in somebody's stuff and they moved to the States from New Zealand or not. I don't know, but it was a New Zealand company that had come out with this design. and I didn't know it had gone international. So it was kind of a surprise to find a partial. Well, I knew my parents no longer had the setting, but it's one that I had grown up with. And so it was kind of a nice surprise to find that, and it brought back a lot of memories about Sunday lunches. And have we go off to trip? Mum would put the roast in the oven before we left, set the timer on the oven, and off we'd go to church. When we'd get home from church, there would be this beautiful roast beef smell throughout the house as you come into the kitchen and everything. And in less than an hour of getting home, we're sitting down this beautiful roast Sunday roast, and yeah. I remember that. I remember those days. That was a lot of fun. I used to enjoy those. But yeah, so going through antique stores can bring back things from your childhood and stuff. And you never know what you're going to find in there. I have read stories, and I've got some of these genealogy storybooks where people have, they were looking for, they'd be out looking for information on a particular relative. Somebody in their family tree, they'll be looking for this person's information, like where they were buried, or going to the local area where they were born to see if they could find their birth records, all this sort of stuff. So they're doing boots on the ground research. And there was one woman in this story who something went wrong with the car. I think it overheated. But they had to pull over to the side of the road anyway, for whatever reason it was. They had to pull over to the side of the road. And while her husband was fiddling around with the car doing whatever it was that needed to be done, it might have been a blind tire or something too. But something had caused them to stop in this area with their car, and the husband had to tinker with it. And so she's just like wandering around, and there's just these empty fields there, and she's just admiring the view and the rolling hills and all of that sort of thing. And they're in the middle of some state in the middle of nowhere, which is kind of in the area where her ancestors came from. And he says that the car's ready to go, and so she's about to get in the car, and she just says, hang a sec, and she had this strong urge to go and climb this fence. So she goes and climbs this fence and walks a few feet, and then at her feet there was this tombstone that had fallen over, and it was her like third or fourth great grandparents' grave that she had come into the area to find. So they were on their way to the county office to find to get the cemetery records, so they could find out where her third or fourth great grandparents were buried. And she just had the sudden urge to climb the fence, and she literally stumbled over her grandparents' tombstone that had fallen over and was laying in the grass there, but you couldn't see it because of the height of the grass at the time. And that's how she found her great grandparents' grave. I thought that's so cool. But I've also heard that in the same book there's one where they go into this town that this person's second great grandparents had lived in, and they go into this antique store because it had been around for years. This antique store, and it had it had one of those established inn signs on it. And they go into the store and they're just like browsing around, and like any genealogist, you come across some photographs. You got to stop and flip through them. That's one thing I love doing, is going into the antique stores and looking through old photographs and stuff. You never know what you're going to find. And she starts flipping through, and she's like, suddenly stops, backs up one, pulls it out, has a look, flips it over. On the back is written her second great grandfather's name and the year the photograph was taken. And so she starts flipping through and looking at the backs, and written on pencil in the back, she found several photographs of her second great grandparents in this antique store. And they had no real, they didn't really think they were going to find anything, but she likes antiques anyway, so they always go browsing through antique stores. And she got drawn over to the photograph area, and she starts flipping through and finds pictures of her second great grandparents. So you never know what you're going to find or where you're going to find it if you've set the intention that you're going to go look for a certain record or something with genealogy. And especially if you're in a place where the ancestors that you're looking for is from, if you're in that area, you never know what you will find, what you will stumble across. And a lot of times, genealogists, some genealogists think that we're guided, it's divine intervention, we're guided by the spirits of the past ancestors to find that particular record, or to be drawn to a store or a paddock or wherever to find that piece of information. Because the woman with the car, she says, we were literally getting back in the car when she suddenly had the sudden urge to go climb the fence. And she said she'd never had that before. And so she feels it was like her third or fourth great grandparents, whichever one she was looking for, had guided her to go and do that. And this woman in the antique store, she's just flipping through the thing, not really paying attention to faces until she had some strong intuition to stop and go back to the previous photograph. And she said she'd never had that before. And so this book there's actually a couple of them out there that I've read. It's just full of story after story after story of how people find information about their ancestors, things that you wouldn't think about, places that you wouldn't even think to normally look, and there's that information there. So I have no idea where all that information came from, but I just had to share it. Somebody out there needs to hear it. But yes, I think I might, once I get my car, I might institute Sunday drives and go for drives to little towns around wherever it is that I'm at the time, and just go explore and go through antique stores and stuff again. And I very rarely, if ever, buy anything in an antique store. I just like browsing. You never know what you're going to find. You never know what memories will come back to you during that time. And sometimes there could be forgotten memories as well. Like it could be like with me, it was a plate, and I suddenly had this memory of Sunday roasts for lunch every Sunday, and then would have leftovers for dinner. And but that's always been one of my cherished memories, was our family dinners that we would have together as a Sunday roast. Even in the middle of summer, we had Sunday roast, and we had no AC in the house. I can see some people in some very hot areas going, that would be hot. Yes, but it's amazing when you come across, like you may even come across a toy that was similar to one that you had when you were growing up, and all of a sudden you have this rush of memories back. And that's one thing I love about antique stores and museums and art galleries to a degree. But I like going through them because you never know what you're going to see or find or learn, and there could be something from a time period there that you had ancestors from that time period in that location, and you're just browsing through the stuff there, and it could be some little piece of information may give you the clue that you need to go on and find the information that you need to find. So you never know where clues are going to come from. You never know what you're going to stumble across when you're just out for a Sunday drive. So go have a nice, relaxing, super fantastic, sparkling Serenity Sunday. I'm off to go do my groceries now, because if I order them now, it means I'm probably not going to get them now until 11:30. But that's okay. Once I put the order in, the only messages I'm going to get is from my shopper, when she turns around and says, hey, this product's not available, what would you like to replace it with? And even though I've already gone through and pre-approved what I want the replacements to be, they still have to send us a message to say, this is not available, we're replacing it with this, is that okay? And you've got to hit the approve or the decline button. So it's just another way that they can verify and check as well. I have a hankering for ice cream too. No, I'm not going to do ice cream today. No. Anyway, have a super fantastic, sparkling Serenity Sunday. Let us know in the comments below what you are doing today to kick back, relax. Are you going for a Sunday drive and discovering little towns? If you do go for a Sunday drive and discover little towns and places and things, let us know. I love those little towns off the back roads and stuff where you don't get a lot of tourists. It's just this nice little settlement there, and they get the odd driver coming through. I love small towns. So have a super fantastic, sparkling day, and we will catch you guys at 12:15 for genealogy and history, and again at 5 o'clock for day 641 part 2. Hej,